if he knew Jesus, there'd be no raising these babies alone.
Jo Dee Messina.
I was in a low place where everything that I built on my own crumbled. The song I'm Alright, we never asked for permission. We recorded it, and I was told by the label, it will never see the light of day because you didn't get permission to record it.
12 years after taking a pause and opening for CMA tonight.
I was told I wouldn't get on this stage. I had a former team member say it will be impossible for you to set foot on that stage. They're like, there's so many other people that they'd rather see. Biggest desire of my heart was, I just want a #1 record. I just want to sell 1 million albums. I just want to go platinum. And now my biggest desire is, I just want to have the ministry. I just want to have the place where people can come get to know him.
What is it that you want to be remembered for?
Jesus.
G'day everyone, it's Mary O'Neill here from Country Outdoors Podcast. I'm so excited to bring you today's interview. She is an absolute icon in country music, but she doesn't come without her struggles. Guys, I'm bringing you Jo Dee Messina today. She took a hiatus for about 12 years from her country music career, and she is back bigger and better than ever with Jesus in her heart and with incredible songwriting. Guys, settle in, and wherever you're watching from, please make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Jo Dee Messina.
G'day mates, it's your host Mary O'Neill Phillips and you are listening to Country Outdoors Podcast.
And guys, we are back with a woman that doesn't need an introduction, but we're going to give it, with 9 #1 hits, 20 top 40 singles. She's a mother, she is a warrior, a survivor, and today is a very big day because her brand new album just dropped, and I saw you getting tears before.
I did.
Just from being able to see your story in the media, it's been inspirational that you've shared all the highs and the lows and the waves, and I would love for you to share what this means with the world to get here today.
Oh, Lord. That's a long story. How much time do we have?
We got to whatever you want to share.
Well, I'm like cleaning up, like I got all teary-eyed because Nick Schwartz, who wrote one of the songs on my record, I'm going to cry, sent me a text and he goes, it's out, it's out, it's out. He's like, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. And it's like, really, I'm proud of him. He wrote one of the only songs I didn't write on the record.
Which one was that?
It's called The Jesus I Know.
Oh,
and it's so song. Strong. And it's just like, we've done it live and people love it. And I was just like, I'm proud of you. Like, and then don't be proud of me. I'm proud of you. So yeah,
that song's really, I listened to that one this morning and I thought, wow, that was an interesting song because depicting Jesus, like a lot of people, you see Jesus as kind of like meek and soft, and that was like, he's strong and he gets down in the grit and he meets you where you are.
Well, and I think, living in the South, there's a lot of what people call church hurt.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people within the church that are following the rules or trying. We could never follow all the rules.
Yeah.
That's why Christ came, was to create a path for us to get to the Father, get to our Father, the one that created us. And so, people always like, oh, well, she's too far gone, he's too far gone, or look at the mess they've made of their life or whatever. And it's like, the Jesus I know sits at the table. This is the chorus of the song. So but you can speak it in conversation.
Yeah.
The Jesus I know sits at the table with the sinners. There's no soul so low he won't deliver. If they tell you where you are, somewhere he'll never go, they don't know the Jesus that I know, because I was in a low place where everything that I built on my own crumbled.
Yeah.
It had no foundation. It was built on sand. My career, my marriage, my mother being the foundation of my strength of, all that I was my mother, and it's like, she's just human. And all of those things started to crumble. And that's when the Lord stepped in, and as real as I'm sitting here with you, I just felt the knowing of, the words, she's mine. And I was like, okay, I don't know how I know that was Jesus, but that was Jesus. And I need to know more about him. And this desire and this hunger and this burning, just for that's all I wanted. I was like all consuming. I would go to school for these things. I would go to every Bible study, every church, just trying to learn more about the word. And it was this thing, but then it slowly turned into this. Like the Holy Spirit would light up the words in the Bible, and they would come to life, and they would have a meaning and place a knowing of like an understanding, a knowing in me. And so I say the church hurt thing because a lot of people think, okay, I'm going to be on Team Jesus.
Yeah.
And they read the book and they're like, okay, I should act like this and I should do this and whatever. And I'm not perfect. I'm flawed, but there are parts of me and desires in my heart that have changed that only he can do.
Yeah.
Like, I do all this because in the long game, I want to have a ministry that where if someone like an Ella Langley or a Dustin Lynch, or these are just hypothetical people, are feeling the crush of the industry and the crush of the world, I can say, come out and be still. And it's called Broom Tree Haven is the name of my ministry. I've established it. We just got to find the land
Oh my gosh.
and a place to do it because I want to love.
You're creating actual physical ministry.
Yes. Oh yeah. Like the name is already set. It's a 501c3. It's set up. It's tax exempt because it's not. I don't make money from it.
Yeah.
It really is just a place to bring people so that they can be still and know. So they can be still. And in the world today, whether you're an athlete, a musician, or a high school student, quite frankly, the world isn't silent at all.
Yeah.
And we cannot hear from the Lord and get to know God in the midst of the chaos. And so I want to create a safe space to do that so that if someone like Jelly Rolls, like, having a, just crashing out or whatever, I can say, come be still. Here's a place to be still. And that's the end goal for all of this. Like, why would you release a record? Well, I'd love to be relevant so I can get to know these artists so that they feel safe enough if they need to step away for a minute.
So it's all like truly for the glory of his kingdom.
It really is.
Oi, stop. So I've actually been looking at buying land myself, and it's made me realize how important it is to have the right lender. And that's why I love what Rural First are doing. They specialize in land and rural financing, and they even invest back into rural communities, which I personally love. So if you're curious, like I am, go and check them out at ruralfirst.com. Loans subject to credit approval and eligibility. Additional terms and conditions may apply.
Farm Credit Mid-America is an equal housing lender.
Rural First is a registered trademark of Farm Credit Mid-America, NMLS 407249. Rural First products are available to consumers within the territories of participating farm credit system associations.
And we have a struggle with that.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was telling my team this morning, I'm like, oh no, we didn't get this and we didn't have that. And I wish we could have done this. And I was like, wait a minute, that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for him. I'm doing it for the kingdom, not for the.
You're still living in. That's the thing. I mean, we're all human, and you're living in ego too. And I struggle with that a lot as a entertainer and battling between my skin and my ego, and then like, how do I glorify you, God? And then it's all those things. But I really I give you the nod for sharing that openly though, because you really are somebody that women and men look up to as a role model. And I think especially because you've always been open about your struggles, even when you're going through them and even when you weren't like in the highs of your career, and now coming back, 12 years after taking a pause and opening for CMA tonight.
Don't make me cry now. That's mean. I know. I was told I wouldn't get on this stage. I had a former team member, I have to put former in there, say it will be impossible for you to set foot on that stage. They're like, there's so many other people that they'd rather see. And so, but my manager, she was just like, well, I'm going to try. I'm just going to try. I'm going to submit your name and I'm going to, talk to people. I'm going to see if I can get you on that stage. And she just kept going and going and going and going. And then we got the invitation. She sent me a text. I think it was at 9:00 at night on like a Friday. And she's like, I'm sorry for the late text. I'm like, it's not late. And
what is it?
I'm like, no, but she's like, but you had an invitation to perform on the CMA stage. And I was
did you bawl your eyes?
I did. And the first thing that came out, which I was telling my team again, first thing that came out is, it will be for his glory.
Yeah.
It will be for him. And so I have a special guest. When does this air? Does this air after the performance?
Yep. And guys, so you got to watch the June 25th special on ABC to watch that.
Yes. But Lauren Daigle is going to come out and join me as we sing worship, as we sing a worship song.
What's your set list? You can share it because this is post.
I don't even know. I think we start with I'm All Right, a short version of Lesson in Leaving, we share a couple songs from the new record because it's available today, the
Are you gonna
same
play
night I'm
Bridges?
performing. And then some Bridges, and then Message in a Bottle, which is the current single that was just released last night. And then we're gonna do a worship song. So all these songs we're cutting short. Like I'm All Right, we're doing a short version. Lesson Leave, we're doing a short version. We're doing a short version of Message in a Bottle. I think we're doing the full song of Some Bridges, but we're doing a full version of the worship song.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're doing shorter versions of the last two. Because we only have 20 minutes. So we're trying to get in the hits that everybody know, but yet glorify him.
Well,
the reason we're there.
I think it will be very well received. Last night we were at the stadium and Jelly Roll essentially like took us to church. And I think there's a massive revival going on in this town and in the country. Honestly, I think people are just like craving Jesus. And I think that you're going to get a heck of a response. And
We'll see. I don't even know if they know the song we're singing. It really is just about him. So because everyone comes to town and they just want to worship the artist, and the song is
because it is a form of worship too, isn't it? And
right,
that's the struggle,
right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have nothing. I can't save
this
you.
Is you.
But I can show you who can save you from depression, who can save you from, from mourning, who can save you from, he can do this. He brings a peace beyond all understanding. And his word tells us that, and his word does not lie, and it is active. And so if you can just get into his word, you'll understand like who you are. Somebody said, if you know who he is, then you know who you are.
Yeah.
Right. And you realize we're all down here. It doesn't matter. And so this song is called Who Else? And it's like, who else is worthy? There is no one, only you, Jesus. Who else is worthy? It's like, I'm not worthy of your worship, but he is. Yeah. And so, anyways, but still get the record, really.
Go and buy the record. It's out right now.
Yeah, but anyways, so yeah.
Country Outdoors is proud to partner with Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America since 1829 and the official light lager of the outdoors. If I'm hunting with a gun, you know I'm running a Bog Death Grip tripod every single time. The one that got away still haunts me. And I promised myself I'd never miss again for lack of a steady rest. So when that once-in-a-lifetime shot shows up, there's zero reason not to get locked in, get rock solid, and send it with confidence. Tell me this, when did you decide that you were going to start working on this and putting it out again? I've got a lot of questions for you about this record as well, because like obviously the industry's changed so much since you last produced a record, and I'm sure that was like such an interesting experience for you. Like, is it so different now?
It is different. And it's interesting too, because we were driving in and somebody had said something like, I'm praying for you today. And I was explaining to my nephew who was riding with me, I was like, that's the one that said, come to town. I want you to write with this one. Because I was living out of state at the time. I've lived here for a million years, moved out of state for a few years, and then came back. So I was living out of state. She said, come to town, write with this one. Come to town, write with this one. And then when I made my way back to Nashville, she's like, come in and write with this one. Come in and write. And so I was writing with a lot of people. And then they're like, why don't you put this on a record? Why don't you put this on a record? And I'm like, well, I couldn't even tell you how to, I don't have the machine in place that we once had. I don't have the major record label, and I don't have any of that. I don't have the money, that people sink into these records to, like, labels will spend millions of dollars to put a record in a certain position, and so, or to try to get it there. And I don't have that. That's not what I have. I've been a single mom. Yeah. I've been keeping my kids, in school, feeding them, providing a house for them, It's been just me doing it.
Kudos to you.
And so, so I was not in that position. And I was writing with a man named David Spencer, who was a producer. And he's like, if you want to put a record together, I can help you do it. He goes, you can do it easy, and I'll help you. And he ended up producing the whole album.
And so because it's changed, because of how distribution has changed now, there's like the ability to be able to do that, as opposed to back in the day, you really did have to have the machine, right?
You did. Yeah, there was a gatekeeper at every door.
Yeah.
And so you couldn't record a certain song unless the A&R person said, oh, this is a hit. Well, nobody could really dictate a hit. Towards the end of my my first, I guess, hurrah, as you'd say. I remember we'd sit there forever without having singles released because this guy would be like, this song's a hit. And this one's like, no, this one's a hit. And they would just fight amongst themselves. And it was like, okay, fine, go cut something else. And until you could find what they agree on. And meanwhile, time is passing and you're like, okay, we're losing momentum.
Did you as a woman like find that really challenging to have a voice in that period?
I don't know if it had anything to do with being a woman or not.
Yeah.
I think it had more to do with just the artist and the way the system, this guy was the one that said it was a hit or you could record it or whatever. I'm all right. Now the song I'm all right. We never asked for permission. I heard that song, brought it in the studio and I'm like, I love this song. I want to record it. We recorded it and I was told by the label, it will never see the light of day because you didn't get permission to record it. And it's not a country song. So if you look at the single, Bye Bye was the first single and they put it out as a B-side. They usually put throwaway songs on the B-side of a single, or they used to. There's no B-side anymore. But, and so when people heard that, the people are the one that said, oh, we want to hear I'm All Right on the radio.
Yeah.
But it was like, that was a thing, where you had to get by the gatekeeper. Nowadays, you can record bits of songs.
Yeah.
Or just a chorus, like I've got this chorus idea, and you release it out there and see what people think, or if they want to hear it, or things that are, like we have a song on this record called Can Anybody. I don't think anyone at a record label would look at that and say, it's going to touch millions.
Yeah.
But you should see some of the videos that people are creating with that song.
Yeah.
And it really reflects on, people are hurting. People feel lonely, and the world doesn't recognize when you're broken on the inside. Like some lady came to a show last weekend and she's like, my husband died last year and I still had to get up and go out in the world. Yeah. And nobody had a clue that I was shattered on the inside. And she's like, that song made me feel seen.
Yeah.
And that was the purpose of that, because we all feel invisible sometimes.
Yeah, I totally get that. And my dad died pretty suddenly from pancreatic cancer a couple years ago. And I remember it was like such a strange thing when like he had just died and feeling like, but the world just continues and like you're not special. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, how are people getting up and going to work and all of this stuff? And
don't you know?
Like in a hole.
Don't you know my heart is breaking? Yeah. Don't you know?
Yeah.
Shouldn't you? You need to know.
Yeah.
That my heart is shattered. What are you doing? Well, how can the sun come up?
Yeah. But unfortunately, we all do at some point. No one's immune from it. And again, so I think that's like something that I really respect about you has been your ability to be vulnerable, even in times that I'm sure were so hard for you as a mother and just as a person, and the struggles that you've gone through.
Well, we all do, though. It doesn't make my story spectacular.
No, but
because it happens to be the same as the, housewife in Missouri or Arkansas. It's just she doesn't have the same platform to tell it. So my story is not really spectacular. It's really quite the same as everyone else.
But there's a level of pride, I think, that you have to tuck down as a entertainer to say, you know what? I've lost all of this and I'm broke right now and I'm going through this and I'm sick and blah, blah, blah. Because a lot of people don't do that. Right. But you did.
You put on the
the
show.
But yes, exactly. And everything's fine. And she's just taking a little break. But you opened those doors. And I think that's why you're here today, because people really love and respect that, aside from your talent, obviously. If you hunt, you know how easy it is to lose track of where you are, especially around property lines. That's why here at Country Outdoors, we only use onX Hunt, the #1 hunting app. It shows public and private boundary lines so you always know where you stand. We use it for scouting, marking spots, and even navigating. It just takes the guesswork out of everything. If you want to hunt smarter this season, go check out onX Hunt at onxmaps.com and know where you stand. Let's talk about the record, though.
Okay, yeah, that. That's why we're here.
Yeah. What single on this? So there's 11 tracks. Is there a particular single that is like #1 for you?
No.
That you love them all?
Nope.
You speak about Jesus a lot.
Well, we have the Jesus I Know, and then we have If He Knew Jesus.
Yeah.
And that was a song. If He Knew Jesus was a song. I was like, so I had a conversation with someone and they were like, so are you dating? And I was like, no. I said, I'm raising my kids. That is a full-time gig.
Yes.
I don't get a sitter and go out at night.
Yeah.
You know, I'm home when they go to bed, and I'm up when they get up in the morning, and, you know, I'm present. So I'm like, unless he comes to my door, or unless he loves Jesus,
Yeah.
you know, I'm like, I've been down the road with someone who, you know, pretends to know Jesus, or, you know, someone who pretends to be a good guy, and then you see the other side, and it's devastating.
Yeah.
And so I had answered someone, and I was like, he would have to love Jesus in order for me to even consider, you know, giving my heart to someone. And so I walked into the writing room with that story, and David Spencer's one of the writers on that. And the first line of the song is, oh, well, if he knew Jesus, there'd be no raising these babies alone. And then I started crying, and the writers, like 2 guys I wrote it with. And I'm like, they were going to think this is going to be a long day. Because I like got into the first line of the song, and I was like, bleh. And so, and we did get to the bridge of the song, and it's like, he might go to church, know the words in the Bible, but if only he knew the man. And one of the writers looks up and he goes, this makes me really think myself. How well am I in relationship with Christ right now? You know, and I was like, ooh, I didn't mean to do that, you know, but it's true, you know, because and we had this conversation earlier, when Christ steps in, not go to church, when Christ steps in, you are wrecked.
Yeah.
Who you were is wrecked. And so, yeah, you can definitely tell a difference.
With some bridges, so I've always said, like, I try to not burn a bridge, but some bridges definitely need to be burned to the ground.
They do.
They do.
The ones that lead to destruction, the ones that lead to like a job that sucks the life out of you, or bridges that lead to addiction, or bridges that lead to abuse, or, you know, and I'm not saying unforgiveness.
No.
That's not what I'm saying. We're not created. Our spirit is not created to carry unforgiveness. It weighs us down. It closes our hearts off, because you got to be tough, right? To not forgive and hold that grudge. That takes strong walls around your heart. And when you have those strong walls, you can't hear from the Lord. And so you have to learn to forgive, but you can forgive. I always say this, you can forgive from the other side of the bridge.
Yeah. It's
and just burn that, so you're not tempted to go back, and move forward.
Having forgiveness and boundaries is a really interesting thing, because I think a lot of us struggle with that, especially when it comes to people that are like important in our lives and hurt and all of that. But I think that's a really interesting perspective. And I agree, like, if it's something that's going to be breaking your heart and causing toxicity, yeah.
Well, you know, and God created boundaries.
Yeah.
Between the water and the earth and the heavens and the earth, there are boundaries.
Yeah.
Where, you know, where does the ocean stop? Where does the land begin? Where do the mountains go? You know, all of these things, it's structured to that.
Yeah.
You know, and even Jesus, when he was on the earth, I mean, he would have his 12, but he would step away.
Yeah.
He would step away at times to just be with the Lord, just to be with the Father, and just to re-energize. And, you know, he would step away. I mean, I'm not saying I know all this stuff, but he would create a boundary to where, okay, I'm with everyone, with thousands, I'm with the 12, and I need a moment.
Yeah. Yep. And then he'd go off into the desert. Yep, absolutely.
Go off to pray.
I'm going to go back to the question that I asked, because I didn't get my answer.
I'm sorry.
Do you have I'm kidding. Do you have a particular, like, favorite?
I don't.
You don't?
No,
at all?
just roll right.
No, you love them all. No, of course you love them all, but is there one that's like, that one is like, that has.
I can say, if you knew Jesus was the most vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
Some bridges is one. I don't have a favorite.
Yeah.
Though. Don't let them hide your beautiful. I was talking to an artist, and they were like, oh man, they keep telling me I can't do this. I got to do that. Telling me all these things. And I said, look, there's a million experts around you right now telling you what you should be. I said, whatever you do, don't let them hide your beautiful. You have to understand, God created you perfectly.
Yeah.
He created you with a purpose and exactly the way that you should be. And it's beautiful. Everything that God creates is beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? We might not see it because we're blinded by things, but I said, you are such a beautiful spirit and such a beautiful person, and it shines from the inside out. Whatever you do, don't let them hide your beautiful. And then I wrote that song. I brought that in Blessing Offer and David Spencer. I was like, I was talking to an artist friend, and Blessing Offer loves the Lord, and he's an artist. And so he totally got it. And so, yeah, that's where we came up with that song. So they all have meaning. Which one is my favorite? I don't know that there's just one, which is why people are like, why did you lead with Some Bridges? And I was like, because that's what my marketing team
Great answer.
but it's true. I'm like, I can't do it. Well, even the
It's also a
sequencing.
it's also such a strong song to come back with. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like I'm here, I'm
That's
back.
what why they leaned on that. I
Yeah.
remember a little Sarah saying, I just think that this is
I love the flames in
you.
the visualizer on your socials. I'm like,
yeah. That's funny. Yep. It was very cold when we shot that. He shot that. I was like, oh, anyways, that's a whole other story. But
you guys know here at Country Outdoors, we really pride ourselves on quality of content and production. And that is why I chose to partner with Creators here in Nashville for all of my CMA Best podcasts. Creators Nashville was built for creatives by creatives. In a world where you need more and more content, they built a place for you to tell your story. With hourly rates or flexible membership options, the whole house is set up for what you need. They just need your story to tell. Creators in Nashville has been Country Outdoors approved. So go to Creators Nashville and book your next project. What's touring going to look like for you now? Like, what does that look like in terms of your performing and all of that? Will that have changed a little bit?
A little bit. The set list is definitely going to change. There's a song on the record called Welcome to the Show, which I want to start the show with that. We've got to get into rehearsals because our first shows are this coming weekend. And I'm like, it's CMA Fest album release. We haven't had 5 minutes to get in and rehearse the new show. And so I'm kind of bummed about that, but we'll try to get it done. But so the order of the songs, the inclusiveness of the new material, changing up, some of the medleys we did in there. And so, it will look a little different. There will definitely be a reason for folks to come out and see the show.
I'm so excited. I love to ask people this question and I feel like this is a good one to ask you, but at this stage in your career and life, what is it that you want to be remembered for?
Jesus. I want people to somehow something in my story turns them to him. Somebody asked me this morning, if Christ was to come back tomorrow, what would you say to the thousands of people in front of you? Right? What would you say?
You can live.
Isn't that beautiful though? Like, we don't realize we're dead. There's so much of us that's like dead inside. We don't even realize that. We're blind to it.
Yeah.
But until you have an encounter with Christ, then you're like, all of a sudden you come alive. And this light, we have a girl that works with me who loves the Lord and gets out of her car. It's like the sun just came out again. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, I don't even have to tell people. I'm like, oh, she knows Jesus. It's like, oh yeah, she's just, and it's like he brings so much of us to life. And I think he's been, the portrayal of him hasn't been very accurate. I find somebody who's been wrecked by him or someone who's been at the lowest of low and pulled out of that, but not their own doing, by him just bringing you to life. So, but that is, you can have life. But people think they're living already.
It's true. It's funny that you asked that because every time I'm flying on a plane and I go through turbulence, I look around and I think, if this goes down, like, who am I going to first to say, do you know Jesus? Or or I say to myself, will you have the courage to do that if it goes down?
Do you have the courage to do it if it doesn't?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah. And I do. Like, I mean, honestly, this is just like kind of off topic, but not really. Like, when I started this show, my prayer was, I just said to God, like, show me how to glorify you with what I've been given. And every single episode, I'm not even kidding you, like, Jesus comes up. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And I just, again, I just want to give you all the praise on doing that and encouragement. And I really hope that you get your nonprofit off the ground. And it's just amazing because this town needs that so much.
But isn't it so crazy that the biggest desire of my heart was, I just want a #1 record. I just want to sell 1 million albums. I just want to go platinum. And now, and this is something, this is like an example of Christ working in you. Now my biggest desire is, I just want to have the ministry. I just want to have the place where people can come get to know him. I just want to have, you know what I mean? It's like, I just want them to have him. And that's the desire.
Well, and now as well, it's like looking at like the opportunity that you have in front of this audience where it's like, oh, of course. It's like a light goes off and you're like, oh, of course this was my purpose because I've got all these people turning up. There's thousands of people here and I have an opportunity to tell them about their creator.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, so so we had a camper fire a couple years ago and it was like devastating. We lost all our production gear, a dog, everything, $100,000 burned to the ground, all this stuff. We were traveling in a camper touring. And the only thing that survived was my Bible. And
it's like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yeah.
Pull it out of the fire.
Yep. And I had been prior to that praying God because I'd been struggling with the ego stuff a lot and it was like I was over it and I just said, please show me how to glorify you with what you've given me all these opportunities and I just like, show me. That Bible survived and I was like, okay, I hear you, I see you, I know you're here. And I had my first show back at the listening room. It was during the pandemic and Shenandoah were playing and yeah, which you probably, Marty was backstage praying and all this and I was just thinking, you know, God, like, show me how to glorify you. How do I glorify you? And I was thinking in my head, I had to do this big gesture to Jesus. And I just heard the Holy Spirit say to me, just bless the room.
Bless the room.
And I just thought, of course, how have I never done that? I've been doing this show for so long. All these people are coming here and it's the pandemic and they need hope and they're eating and they're listening to music that you created and I haven't been blessing the room.
We need to make shirts that say that, seriously, bless the room. Because what did someone say this morning? My dear friend, she says things and you're like, oh, let me put that in my pocket. Oop, let me put that in my pocket. And she's like, you know, is it large? Is it small? Jesus had the 12.
Yeah.
Constantly, he had the 12.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yes, the thousands, the whatever, but he'll consistently have the 12. Mm-hmm. So focus on the room.
Yeah.
You know, and that's such a great word because, you know, he will leave the 99 for the one.
Yeah.
Why are we looking for the 99?
Well, and
right?
Yeah. And the other thing is though, once you invite the Spirit into the room, it takes all the pressure off of you because he's now dictating what happens. And that's what I realized was like so freeing. Is when you pray and bless the room, he's in control. It's got nothing to do with you. And that is just like, you're just a vessel for the Spirit.
Yep.
Which is a beautiful thing.
That's neat. I'm like, my response is hesitant. And I'm like, just kind of listening to what you're saying. Lauren said that last night on the phone. She's like, I will be a vessel. She's like, because we're not singing a song that's hers and we're not singing a song that's mine. Yeah. We're singing a song that's his. Not meaning, you know, neither one of us recorded the song. I mean, this is really about him. And she's like, and if it needs to be, you know, vertical worship, I'll be the vessel. I'll be the vessel. You know, and it's really hard when you have industry people going, well, you should, you know, do your new single or premiere your last hit or whatever, you know, premiere, whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, it has to be about him. It has to. I mean, because everything else fades. Mm-hmm. Look, we're going to have a great performance tonight, but you know what? Tomorrow night, there's 10 other artists going on that stage that are hugely successful. You know what I mean? So it's like, use the moment for him because he is everlasting. I'm not.
Do you know Mo Pitney?
I do not.
Okay, so Mo Pitney is a bluegrass Christian artist in town, and he was telling me his like part of his testimony, and he had played back in the day, the Grand Ole Opry. He had this song Clean Up on Aisle 5, and it was like a very big song anyway. It was the first time he played the Grand Ole Opry, and he had a standing ovation, and he said, and then I went home and I rolled my bins to the gutter. And like, it was like that.
Oh, yeah. Rolled my bins. She meant he takes his trash out.
He took his trash out. So he probably did say took his trash out.
I was like, he rolled his bins. What does that mean? Oh, he took the trash out.
But he just, he realized that he is just a man, Yeah. And I was like, it's the same thing. It's like, so what is it worth? I would love to see you bless the room at CMA. That would be so cool.
Oh, you're going to be there, aren't you?
Tonight. Oh, I'll be there.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'll be
hopefully
I'll be
say a
there.
prayer.
I will.
That's a
I'll be
prayer.
praying.
Like everyone's like, I'm praying for you today. Congratulations with your record. And I was like, just have this opportunity to be used in the way that God wants it to be used.
Yeah.
Like, don't give me this opportunity to squander it away.
Yeah. And be bold, but you are.
So, yeah, most of the time, I guess. I don't know.
I
just speak my story.
Yeah.
Which is, that's power of the blood of the Lamb and the power of our testimony, right? And it's like, I just share my testimony with people.
It's amazing. A lot of us grew up with Field and Stream, dreaming about our next cast, our next hunt, and our next outdoor escape. So join the 1871 Club today and head to fieldandstream.com/1871club. Before we wrap up, I have to ask you, how do you look so good right now? You look amazing. You look so fit. Like, I read somewhere that your dad was like,
nothing.
Was your dad like super physical and into his 90s?
My dad, I do say I get a lot of like the muscle gene from my dad, because a lot of girls can go to the gym and weight train and they don't get the muscle. I really honestly do think I got that from my dad's side of the family. He was an athlete. My uncle was an athlete. My uncle he went to Florida State University. You can Google it. He was a walk-on and made the football team at 42 years old.
Wow.
And so we just don't know quit. Yeah. Like, we don't know quit. And so
I can see.
right. And so, but I do weight train every day. Like today we did, my weight trainer's like, okay, we'll just do upper body, because usually we focus on like back and biceps, chest and triceps. We do 2 muscles a day. But today she's like, okay, we'll do shoulders, biceps, triceps.
So you're like extra jacked.
So we got like this like cut going on. And I'm like, oh, will it last tonight for the stadium show? And she's like, nope, bring your 5-pound weights. I was like, dang, I gotta
you look
there,
so
get my hair
good.
and makeup done, get ripped out for the show.
It's inspiring me to like want to like keep up with my fitness, honestly.
But it's a conscious effort.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I just look like this.
Yeah.
No.
You're not on the,
no, I work. I lift heavy.
Ozempic?
I lift heavy.
Yeah. And you're running, right? You run?
Oh, I do cardio every day. I started with my son, so it's been every day for the last little bit of time, which I'm very excited, because he wants to get into shape. He's going to be a freshman in high school. He's like gearing up. So I'm like, okay, let's do it together.
You look fabulous.
Thank you.
Last question. What advice would you give to younger artists for all the waves that you've gone through, the highs and the lows, entering the music industry or entertainment industry now?
Do not sell out who you are just to be successful.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how successful you are. Like, success wanes, and you think about, well, I'm going to live forever. I mean, there's not a lot of kids that can tell you an Elvis Presley song right now.
Yeah.
And he's the king.
Yeah.
And I have a lot to do with kids, right? Because I teach, I actually lead worship at a school during the week, 18 months to 8th grade. You should see them. They sing their little hearts out. I love it. But, it's like, no matter how hugely successful you are, they can't tell me a Michael Jackson song right now.
Yeah.
It does fade eventually. And so don't sell out who God created you to be for something that's temporary. Create those boundaries.
It's amazing.
Family first.
Yeah.
And I say that not because I always put family first. I say that because I missed it, and I missed watching him grow up. My nephew, oh, that'll make me cry. My brother's kids, my sister's kids. I was touring. I was pounding the pavement, and here they are. Now they're having. My sister's like 10 years older than me. Her kids are having kids. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I missed it. I'd pop into their life when I was in town or whatever, but I was like, It's not worth it. Regret is an awful thing to live with.
Yeah.
I tell my kids that too. I'm like, watch the choices you make, because now you are the result of the choices that you're making, and regret is heavy. It's heavy. And so, I mean, the Lord can take it, but the lessons you learn from that still kind of sting,
Well, I wasn't expecting us to go to church this early, but I'm really glad that I did.
We're always going to church, sister.
I love it.
We are the church. We are the church.
I love it. Jo Dee, I am just so excited for you in this new era of your life. And I love that Jesus is at the center of it, because I just know that that's just, having a heartbeat behind it. It means everything in this world needs Jesus more than anything.
Yeah.
So keep it up. And guys, you can go and get the album. It's out now. The CMA special.
The album.
The CMA special.
By the way, I got a record out today.
25. We've got the album right here. You can check it out. You can check out her tour dates. Go and see her in person. Out this summer, fall?
We're out.
Everywhere.
We start next week.
Woo! So exciting. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
You're an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Cheers.